Gourmet coming your way. Today we are making kielbasa, little Polish kielbasa, just little stuff from ShopRite. And we are sauteing it with some cabbage and some onion. Real simple, real quick. What we're going to do is we're going to chop up this cabbage, take off the outer layers because it's kind of crusty looking, and then we're going to slow cook our kielbasa, because the slower you cook it and the lower you cook it, the better it's going to be. But first we're going to saute the cabbage and the onions, then we're going to throw in the kielbasa afterwards. So let's get started. Alright, we're using a Farberware electric skillet. You can temperature control. We're not using the oven or the stove or anything like that today. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is you want to take your cabbage and you want to quarter it. So we're just going to take our knife, just go right down the middle like this here. Take that out. And then we do the other side, just right down the middle, so you can get to the core. And this is the real simple part. If you see this here, you see this core here about the shape of the knife. You're just going to take it like this and just go right straight down and just whack out the core. Get rid of that. This one I cut it a little off angle so we don't have a core on that side. Can I core an apple? Ha ha! I guess you can. Cut that one out, and oh, we got a little bit left, so we see how we're cutting it out like that. Cut that out, and then we get rid of that whole big chunky mess of junk right there. Okay, I don't know if you noticed today, I have my hat. My hat is the French way, not to be confused with Feng Shui, which is the Chinese meditation, art of meditation. So in our skillet, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a big stick of butter. I'll get that, and then once we do that, we'll start chopping up. We can shred it like that, just nice and chop. Good idea when you're cutting stuff. You see how my fingers are? You want to hold your fingers like that so that you're not lopping off a hunk of your finger. That if you do get close, and it also acts as a good guide when you're cutting your stuff. You just move your finger back, place it up against, move it back, place it up against, and this way you don't take off any major pieces of your finger. Okay, so we're adding our butter here. A little bit about myself. I never went to school for cooking. I've always, my family's always liked my cooking, and I just love to cook. I mean, you can tell by the size of me, I really love to cook. The family says that I should have done this a long time ago. It's my passion. I really love, it's one of my great hobbies that I love to do. I didn't go to culinary school. I just, I was on my own for a little while, when I was younger, and you have to kind of learn how to cook and eat because you really can't afford to be eating out all the time. And so I finally did it. I took the dive and started this website. So we're putting all our stuff in here as we're going along. And cooking is a great hobby. You can't be eating everything you cook, though. My passion is making other people happy with cooking. Lisa and I, we've cooked for Star 99.1 for their share-a-thon. We cook for the church, and it's a really good feeling to watch people and their expression when they taste their food. My favorite thing to make is my chicken franchise, and soon I'll probably be making that for you guys to see. It's kind of Lisa's recipe, but I kind of took it over, and it's just, it's really, really good. The chicken, it's so, what's the word? Tender, that's the word I was looking for. That the chicken is so tender, you could cut it with you could probably cut it with a piece of bread, it's so tender. But we cooked for about 92 people just recently. We had the church, our 1-year anniversary for True Life Church, so there goes a plug out to True Life Church. And Pastor Chris Francis. So if you go to church, maybe you get to eat pretty good. And let's see here. So now we're going to do our onion. What I like to do with onions too is we've made bloomin' onions, homemade bloomin' onions once. And that was kind of cool. I got nothing.
How about layers, donkey? Layers.
Layers, donkey. parfaits. Everybody loves parfaits. Let me tell you a little bit about my sister-in-law, Denise. She's the one that really prompted me to get going, saying, oh, you should do this, and you should do that, and you should do a website, and you should do all kinds of stuff. So I was like, yeah, you know, I always wanted to open a restaurant, I just don't like the hours. So instead of opening up a restaurant, I just, you know, I cook Thanksgiving dinner and everybody loves it, and the turkey is just so delicious. You can check out my turkey video on my YouTube channel, Gray Gourmet, and it is so juicy. So here we're cutting up our onions. We're going to saute these two. Just going to turn the heat up just a little bit because it says it's ready at 150. So we're going to just crank that up to about 300. Get a little juices flowing here. I got our butter in there. It's going to be real good. Can't wait. Throw that in there. We got one more. So 2 big onions to 1 big head of cabbage, and it should be good. You gotta watch out with your onions. Sometimes you get that outer layer and you go to saute it, and it tastes like a piece of like shoelace or something. It's just, so you gotta cut down just enough to where you get to the nice meaty part of the onion. We get our onions at Sam's or Restaurant Depot. And again, we're going to chop this in half. And now on your onion too, if you notice this little part right in here, I'm just cutting that little hard piece right out of there. Just put a little V in it and just knock it off to the side. Same thing over here, we got a little tiny V piece. I'm just going to carve that out and get rid of that. This way all the onions, they break up nice in the pan. Okay, now we'll just mix that up. Gonna add a little bit of seasoning, not too much. You don't want to go crazy. Salt and pepper is good because you're gonna get a lot of the juice from the kielbasa into the pan. Now it's time to add our kielbasa. You can leave it whole like it is here, or you can cut it up and cut it on an angle. I'm gonna cut this up to get a little bit more flavor in here, into the juices and flowing with the onions and the cabbage. Now there's 2 things you can do. You can cut up just a little bit and throw it in and boil the rest, or you can cut it all up and put it all in. I think I'm going to cut it all up and put it all in and just let it cook for just a little bit longer so that the kielbasa becomes nice and tender and all of those flavors just get fused together. Now this looks a little bit high in a pot here, but it's going to all kind of come down just a little bit. It's going to break down and so on. So just keep mixing this up nice. Oh, look at that. That's looking really good. It's getting there, buddy. Gotta love it. You know, just thinking about it, there's so many different versions of kielbasa, like kielbasa recipes. It's almost like the Forrest Gump of kielbasa. You know, you have kielbasa Creole, kielbasa sandwiches. You got kielbasa, stuffed kielbasa. You got kielbasa in a blanket. You got kielbasa sauteed kielbasa, kielbasa soup, kielbasa stuffed kielbasa. What else we got? Pasta and rice kielbasa, kielbasa and kielbasa. If I say kielbasa one more time, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. Kielbasa. Yeah, so there's like a whole bunch of stuff you can do with this, but this is what I'm doing today. Delish. Now you notice that this is actually starting to get a little bit sunken down because now it's we're caramelizing our onions, we're getting our cabbage nice and soft. I added some fresh peppercorn pepper. That's it. I'm not going to add salt because the kielbasa is salty enough, and I'm supposed to be watching my salt, so I'm supposed to be watching everything, but I'm going to need bigger eyes in order to watch anything else. So that's it. Here we go. We're going to let that sit down, and once that drops down a little bit lower, you're gonna see a lot of liquid come into this, so you really don't have to add any liquid because the heat just draws the liquid out of the kielbasa. It draws it out of the cabbage and the onions. So there's plenty of moisture in here. Now we're gonna keep the lid on just to hold in the moisture. So we'll let that sit. Okay, here we are. We're all finished. Finished product is looking good, steaming hot. They're gonna love it. Hey, I'm the Gray Gourmet. Have a good day. Hey Lee, come on over. Check this out.
It's all done?
Yeah, let me know what you think.
Oh my god, my mouth is watering. I'm gonna try some of this. Oh, it's a huge piece. Alright, hold on. Take a little bite. Oh my god, it's good. Very good.
2 thumbs up.
Okay, 2 thumbs up.
Gray Gourmet signing off.
Oh my god, it really is good.
Is it really?
Hey, get out of there!
Well, I can't help myself.
Leave some for the rest of us.